Hey guys, good morning. It's April 23rd, 2021. I'm Kimberly Jolly with Fat Quarter Shop, and we're continuing sewing on Sewcialites. So Sewcialites is a free sew along that every Friday we give you a free block in 3-inch, 6-inch, and 9-inch patterns. It's going to end over the summer, and I have seen some questions this week about if there's going to be another one, and there will, but it will be in 2022 because we're going to put a break between them. So today's block is block 28, and I'm going to pop up April Rosenthal's block since she's the designer of this. And the block is called Hope. And that fabric is coming out in September. It's called Love Lily, and it's got lots of bright colors. It's got like 5 or 6 colors. It has more colors than most collections do. And so you can see from the block that it's just 4 units that are just rotated to give you that look. It should be, I would say, maybe intermediate. And today we're going to be working with a 3-inch size. So I'm going to go ahead and show you from the top camera my blocks. So these are the 3 blocks I made months and months and months ago using Homestead Collection by April Rosenthal, same designer, and this is 20708-40, which is kind of my go-to background color. And when I did this one, I don't think I paid attention to the direction of the pots. I think I just kind of did whatever. So those are my 3 blocks. And then I'm going to show you my sample maker blocks. We've got Zen Chic in the 3-inch size, Figs and Shirtings in the 3-inch size, Folktail in the 6-inch size, Shine On in the 6-inch size, and then we have Cider in the 12-inch size. And so you can see they look totally different. She paid attention to the direction of the prints, and like here I didn't. So you kind of get a different look. I think my favorite one is this one. I think this fabric really lends itself to this. So we'll just get started on block 28. And hopefully this week we're not going to have a bunch of mistakes. But if we do, it's okay. So let's see, and this one, let's see what it's labeled. It is labeled beginner. And I am gonna do the 3-inch size. Now, if you are doing this, anything in the 3-inch size, I would say is not beginner. But we kind of had to label them beginner, intermediate, and experienced. And of course, if you're working on this block and maybe you don't love one of the blocks in the series, you can get a 6-inch block from Lori Holt's book, or a 9-inch block from someone else's book. You can always feel free to exchange out patterns. So I'm going to work on the 3-inch size. Oops, sorry. So when I work on the 3-inch size, I'm going to cover this up so that I don't accidentally cut the wrong thing. And there are going to be 4 half square triangles. So of course I use triangles on a roll. If you're working, and then when you're following this pattern, the first number is your 3-inch, the second number is your 6-inch, and the third number is your 9-inch. So if you're working on the 3-inch, you would need 1/2-inch finished triangle paper, which is H050. If you are using the 6-inch size, you would need H100, which is 1-inch finished. And if you're making the 9-inch size, you need 1.5-inch. So they're all triangles on a roll, H050, H100, H150. And what you would do is take 1/2 inch away from whatever number's there, and that's what you need. So 1 minus 1/2 inch is 1/2 inch. And so if I look at A and D, it says I need 2 of these squares. So I'm just going to cut 2 squares off my paper. And I'm so glad we finally made the size, because I've been needing the size for years. I don't think I knew how much I needed it until we made it. And today I'm using Figs and Shirtings fabric, and I'll give you a little tease. There might be some designer that's pretty famous who's gonna maybe use this collection soon. So that's pretty cool. So anything I have left over from my layer cake I'm going to save, and I'm going to sew along with that also on here, and it's going to be a free sew along. Of course, I can't tell you more, but I think you'll like it. I haven't seen the design yet. But I'm going to put this on the corner of my two fabrics right sides together. Cut this off. And this is my A and my D, so you could just put your alphabets there. Or what I do is I write the letters. And then the rest of it is all, let's see, B, C, and D is just according to the pattern. So from the background, I need 8 1 by 1.5 inch rectangles. So I think what I'm going to do is cut a 1.5 inch wide strip, and then I don't need any more background, so I can put this aside. Hopefully I get enough from this, we'll see. So I need 8 1 inch, so I just need 4 because it's doubled up. So this should be plenty. So that's pretty easy. So yeah, this is pretty easy cutting wise. Cutting's always the hardest part to do on camera. So this is letter B, so I'm going to put that there with my alphabet. And then I need 4 1.5 inch squares for C for my print. So if I need 1.5 times 2 is 3, so I'm just going to cut a 3 inch square off this corner and then subcut 4 1.5 inch squares right here. And then I'll have all this left over to use with the upcoming free sew along. It will probably start in June, July, so it's going to be a while until it starts. But I always love to show you guys lots of sew alongs, and we have had some comments about why aren't they all free. And I do all kinds of sew alongs, whether they're free or not, so I kind of try to support everybody. So let's see. So these are my C's. Ooh, that was the easiest cutting we've done this whole time, I think. This is going to be a breeze. So from here, what I'm going to do is go ahead and work on my half square triangles. So with half square triangles, you stitch on the dotted lines, and I am going to use a 1.5, 1.3 stitch length and an open toe foot, and I'm just going to stitch on there. Now when I start, I always start off the paper so that when I pull my paper off, it doesn't, my stitches don't come out. Okay, and then I'm going to put a 1/4 inch foot on because the rest is going to be 1/4 inch seam sewing. So from here, all I have to do is cut my outside edges. Okay, there is a question that says, from Bonnie, she says, should we cut bigger than cut down later? On this block, I wouldn't. I don't think you need to. And so when I show you my piecing here, this is exactly how I do it at home. So kind of just depends when I do that and when I don't, but I don't think you need to on this one. I definitely think you need triangle paper though, especially for this size. This is so tiny. And then Joy says, isn't she pretty in pink? Oh, thank you. Every time I wear this sweater, I get so many comments, and I've had it for a couple years, maybe 3. Okay, so now I'm gonna iron these, and I'm just gonna set my seam by putting my iron down. Then I'm gonna press to one side, Now these tiny pieces, this is when I burn myself, always, because they're so tiny. And then I'm gonna clip off the little dog ears and then press open. Now when I'm working with a 3-inch block, it is really nice to press open a lot because when you have a 3-inch block, all your seams are going to be very close together. So the smaller the block, the more likely I am to press open rather than to one side. And then Crafting a Plan Life said, what is the best way to work with directional fabric when using triangles on a roll or foundation paper to make sure it's oriented correctly? Okay, so what I do there is I just make some, lay them out, and if it's not working because they're not the right direction, I just make some more. But I can't really figure it out until I've got them all sewn. So and if I have extras, I just put them on the back of the quilt or use them for something else. So that's usually what I do, is I usually just guess. I usually just put the paper on there and then see what happens. Most of the time it works. So from here, we're going to build the block. So I always just keep my little pattern right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And so all we have to do is sew this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch 4 of these this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I will cut them apart in 4 sections and then we'll press. So from here, I'm going to go to the side camera, and on this, it's really tiny, so I'll just put a little pin. Stitch, 1/4 inch foot, make my stitch length a little longer. And then here you just want to make sure you've got the half square triangle going the right direction. And then so that's 1 unit. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to do all 4. This block is going to be amazing. This is going to be the easiest block we've ever done. And then there's a question, have you tried the finger dots that are for pressing with the hot iron? Or finger cots? I don't know what that is. Cots. I have no idea what that is, so I haven't tried it. Do you know what it is, Lily?
I do not.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. So I haven't tried it, but if you have like a vendor or SKU number, let me know. I'd probably still burn my finger. I'd just burn the outside of my fingers instead of I'd burn my hand instead of my finger. Oh, yeah, no, I have not used those. So somebody's pulled that up for me to see, and no, I have not used that. I don't think I will. Okay, so from here, I'm going to cut in segments. So here's 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units. And I'm going to just press all of this. I'll press to one side and then press open, and then we'll just have a couple more seams. So everybody comment and let me know where you're watching from so I can shout your name out. Let's see, it says they're silicone finger protectors. So yeah, no, I haven't used them. Yeah, let me know what city you're in. We're in Austin, Texas, and it is foggy. The last 2 Fridays have been so foggy. When I'm driving to work, it takes like 10 minutes extra because I'm drive really slow. But I'll tell a funny story. I have a funny story. Oh, I'm probably giving too much information, but yesterday I needed to do a background check on somebody. So I did, and they were clean. Then I did a background check on myself, and I had like 6 speeding tickets on there. I was like, oh my God, that's a lot. I was like, why do I have so many speeding tickets on here? And it's because when I get them, I just pay them. And then I looked up Kevin, and he has none. And he has way more speeding tickets than me. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, well, because you're supposed to do this and this. And I'm like, well, I didn't do any of that. So God forbid y'all do a background check on me, because there's a lot of speeding tickets. And I don't even get that many. One of them was like 3. It was like, I guess I got cited for 3 things. I don't even know. It was like 5 years ago. Phoenix, Arizona. Nowhere, Oklahoma. Chile, Kentucky. Covington, Washington. There was a recent poll that came out that said, what are the best capital cities in the United States? Number 2 was Austin, and I thought number 1 would be Washington, D.C. And it wasn't. It was Salt Lake City. And I was like, oh, well, I go there all the time. So I thought that was interesting, because I thought, well, for sure it'll be Washington, D.C. because they have all the monuments. Bethlehem, Georgia, San Angelo. I almost went to college in San Angelo. Phoenix, Florida, London, Ontario, Canada, Kitchener. Let's see. Okay. So from here, I'm going to pin these together. So I kind of pin over my design board. Oh, Sweden. And then there is a question about Lori Holt's red sampler packs, and I'm going to answer that in that section, but should have the red fat quarter bundles next week. And there is a 1-yard bundle that's available, and we will have more of those next week also. And I'm going to show you the blocks I did for that for this week, which blocks. So yeah, I'm just right here, I just lift this up and make sure my seams match. And if you flip this back and your seam starts coming apart, just make your stitch length a little bit longer. It's funny because the machine here is the same exact machine I have at home, but they're on total different settings. Even though it's the same machine, to get the same results, you have to change the settings. San Jose, Castroville. I wonder, Castroville, where's that? I don't know where that is. I should know where that is, but I don't. Do I ever use small clips instead of pins? I haven't tried that yet. I haven't done that. Let's see. There's noisy outside. Okay, so from here, I am just gonna stitch 1/4 inch seam down. And then when I pull my pins out, I do that right before I get to it. So, like right there. I just slide them off. And just keep going. What are your favorite pins to piece with? I used to love C105 and they discontinued it. So there's a new one that I've tried and we're gonna figure out which one that is and I'll tell you. Because I actually haven't had to buy new ones because I still have tons. When I found out they were being discontinued, I bought like 5 packs of them. And some of them are still unopened, so I haven't bought any new ones. And what is my favorite sewing machine? So my favorite machine is this Juki Teal 2010Q. I also have the same machine. They did a limited run of platinum editions. So I have the platinum one at home. I was thinking about that this morning. I was thinking I have 4 sewing machines in my house. I have my Juki, then I have a Juki under the sink, and then I have my Sashiko machine on the floor in my closet. That way I can lift it. And then I have a Baby Lock Symphony, I think, or Crescendo, one of those. And I use that for making the zigzag edges or if I need to do any kind of specialty stitches since the Juki only does a straight stitch. I will say the disadvantage of the Juki is it is so loud and it annoys Kevin. He gets so mad when I start sewing. He's like, can you, he just comes and shuts the door. It's really loud, but I also sew really fast. Okay, so the pins that we found that I'm using on camera right here is Clover 2501. So that's what I found. Now, when I'm looking for a pin, like pretend you're shopping. Let me try to do this where you can see. So I like the pin to be as skinny as possible and as long as possible. The thicker the pin is, when you put that in your fabric, it's thick. So I want to be able to put the pin in and just keep going. The thicker it is, the more I don't like it. So my goal is just thin. Now some pins are too thin because they get wobbly, but pins are really inexpensive. So it's not something that you're going to break the bank trying different things. It's always good to try different things. So from here, this is how the block should look. I'm going to show you mine over here. Let's see. So you kind of have the darks here and the darks here. There's a couple things you could do here. This would be really cute. That would totally change it. Totally different look. And you'd have a circle. You can't really tell here, but you would have a really nice circle here. And your points, you would need to match this point, this point, this point, and this point, but it would make a really nice circle. You could also do this. I don't really like that though. I think that looks like a cow mouth or something. I don't know, it looks funny. I do not like that. So I'm gonna do this like normal. Let's see. Yeah. And I'm gonna pin them together. And the nice thing here is there's no points to really, there's no half square triangle points that we have to line up, so that's really nice. And it says, Ray Ann is asking if I will present at Garden of Quilts this fall. Yes, so when they have Garden of Quilts, I just go with Lori and do whatever Lori's doing. I don't do my own class because, you know, when I go to Salt Lake City, I want to just go hang out with Lori, and whatever she's doing, I'll just do that and hang out with her students. I don't want to have to come up with my own stuff because I don't know if I would have time. And have I ever used silk pins? I have no idea. So I guess the answer is maybe. I'm kind of one of those people that is a creature of habit, so if I have something that works, I just keep it. But maybe I should try them, I don't know. So from here, I'll do the same thing. Press. And my little points are matching my little half square triangle points. So that's nice. I wasn't... So right here you can see that that kind of got pressed funky, so I'm going to just make it flat again. Press this open. What are you guys sewing this weekend? I have a ton of stuff I'm going to sew this weekend. I am so excited. I really like the cow mouth. Okay, you make the cow mouth and let me know how it looks, Connie. I know she'd be able to know how this block, be able to have this block out in less than 30 minutes. I could probably make this block at home in like 10. Because when I'm at home, I kind of, if anyone ever came and watched me sew at home, y'all would be like, oh my God, she's crazy. Like, I'm a maniac. I am like, I drink a bunch of tea. I have a tea maker now. I just drink a ton of tea and I just go crazy. I put my headphones on and then I line up my kids to whoever's gonna pull the paper off for me that day. Oh, she's sewing Serendipity. Good. So I can't sew ahead, so I can't do that. And did you find the Quilter's Press ironing board gets so hot it warps your cutting mat? No. Quilter's Press, oh, this thing is what you're asking about. No, but I don't use this at home. I only use this at work, but it has not warped anything down here before. This is a Creative Grids mat. But I haven't had any issues. I'm making a quilt using FQS pattern Layers of Charm. Yeah, that's a cute pattern. I'm working on Great Granny's Garden, catching up on Sewcialites, finishing my Perfect 5 quilt. That's awesome. So from here, I will it's kind of wonky. So see how it's like, it's like a wave. It's like, let's go wave here and a wave here. But for that, I'm just gonna kind of chop this off a little bit. And when I'm doing this, I always check to make sure that right here, this 1/4 inch line on the Creative Grids ruler, I like the side that has the dotted because I can see it better, so that hits that point. So if I cut here, I'm not cutting anything into that point. And it's still kind of, so what I'll do here, let me do this. This is probably what I would do at home. Well, this is what I would do at home. And then I'll move all this stuff off the side. So from here, what I will do is press this down on the front, rotate, press it down on the back. Now it's hot. Put a clapper on it. Leave it there for 5 minutes. When we come back in 5 minutes, it will be, well, I'm not leaving, but when I come back, I know that it will be nice and flat. Okay, I'm bringing my chair. Hold on a second. Sorry. Boop-a-doo-boop. I didn't break anything, guys. I didn't break anything over here. We're good. Nothing broke. Okay, so one of the questions I have is, how often do I replace my cutting mat at home? I would say once a year. Whenever, let's look at this mat from the top camera now that we moved. See how you're starting to get lines right here? We have this little pink sponge. I don't have one in here. It came in a Sew Sampler box recently, and that thing is amazing. If you put that sponge like that, it's gonna cut all this off. All this will come off. But if you get to where you have divots, where you can, if you're going like this on your mat and you can feel a divot, that's when you need to replace it. But I try not to replace it too much. That's kind of expensive. And then what kind of tea and tea maker? Oh my goodness. What kind of tea maker did I buy? I don't know. I bought it at Williams-Sonoma. So I had a bunch of, I used to cook. I used to like cook all the time. And I had all these Williams-Sonoma gift cards. And at Christmas, Kevin and I decided we had all these gift cards. We were going to spend them. We were going to just go online and just spend them so we could just get rid of them. Because they're just sitting there. So I found a tea maker. I don't know. It's like Cuisinart or something. It's just a basic Breville. I don't know. It's just a tea maker. And the only thing is you have to use tea leaves. And so the tea, I like plain iced tea. And so the tea leaves are really small. So I'm still trying to perfect it. It says, oh, and Lori Holt says, I'm sewing more blocks for my red sampler. Yes, we will be texting and stitching. So I'm going to move to red sampler. And
real quick, we just have a few new YouTube members.
Oh yeah,
and
perfect.
Super chats. So first YouTube member that joined is Agnes Jimenez. Welcome, Agnes. And then we had a super chat from Valeria Bauer for $19.99, and she put the pair that says, thanks for being you, and looking at itself in the mirror being cute.
Thank you.
And then we had one more super chat from Pam Chamberlain for $2.99, and she put a pair that says fist bump.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Oh, one more super chat. that just came in for £5 I believe, from the Stitchery Dorset. Thank you for the brilliant videos.
Thank you. So I'm going to show you the Lori Holt Red Sampler, and I talked about it last week. And I'm kind of keeping all of my blocks on one of these design boards. Let's see what size this is. This is the 14-inch size. So I'm going to first pop up Lori's block and then show you mine. So these are her 3 blocks that she released on Monday. They're on her blog, which is beinmybonnetco.blogspot.com. And she gives you the page number to go to in either Farm Girl Vintage, Farm Girl Vintage 2, Spelling Bee, or Vintage Christmas. And you just turn to the page and you use some of her red fabric. Now we're going to have a 1-yard bundle that has 6 pieces, and we have that in stock. We're going to have more next week, and then we're going to have a fat quarter bundle that has 19 reds, and that will be available next week also. So here's my first, okay, I'm going to show her first block real quick. That's her first one. So that one is from Farm Girl Vintage. It is, let's see, it is the 12-inch block from the Farm Girl Vintage book, page 63. And when I made mine, I did really similar. So let's show hers again real quick, and then I'll show mine. So I kept the same fabric. Now we'll go back to mine and I'll show you what I did. So I kept these fabrics the same. These 3, 1, 2, 3. The ones that she had here and here, I had either used or didn't have. And so when I made this, I used my 4-inch square and a square paper, and it came out really nice. And you can see this is like where my glue was. You can see my glue. So this is my first block. So again, this one is 12-inch Summer Star from page 63 of Farm Girl Vintage. And then I'm going to show you her second block for this week. This one is Reindeer Hooves. So you can see that she used 2 fabrics. Top left, bottom right, top right, bottom left. And then here's my block. So I wanted to do it a little bit different. So I used 4 fabrics. So she used 2 and I used 4. And I did try to do like some lighter reds and some darker reds. I don't think it really came out the way I envisioned it, because I kind of envisioned it where hers, if we can show it again, hers has like a definite dark and a different light, but mine didn't work out that way, but that's okay. And I used H150 to make my half square triangles. And then what I did is I pressed these 2 towards the red and these 2 towards the white, and you can see. And the reason I did that is I wanted all my seams to nest, and I didn't want to have to press open. So if you press these one direction and these the opposite, it'll work. So that's the second block for this week, and it's the 6-inch block, Reindeer Hooves, page 80, Vintage Christmas book. And then the next block of hers is the 6-inch Lazy Daisy block from page 81 of Farm Girl Vintage 2. And I'm so jealous of her block. I love her block. So she used the gingham on the outside and then a really dark barn red for the inside. And then mine, I don't think mine looks very good, but I'm going to leave it. I think I should have used a less busy print for out here. And then when I first made my block, I used the same fabric in the center. I don't know why. And then she told me, I said, oh, I'm just going to remake the block. And Lori said, no, don't remake it, just unstitch it. So I unstitched this and then put the plaid in here. And on the back, I did want to show you, if you can zoom in, you'll see like my stitches are so tiny. So when I had to unpick this block, it was really hard. I mean, my stitches are teeny. So I would recommend not pulling your stitches out. And now I'm going to show you all 6, and then I'll show you all her 6 of hers. So these are the first 2 weeks. So each week she's going to do 3. So I'm going to try to lay them out pretty. So far we have 2 12-inch blocks, 4 6-inch blocks. And what she's doing with this also, some of her blocks in the 6-inch have duplicates. So technically when you look at this quilt in the end, it's gonna look like 3-inch blocks, 6-inch blocks, and 12-inch blocks. So that's going to give you a cool effect that you're not going to see yet, but you will eventually see. And so one of the questions is, am I using foundation paper on my block from Kathy? So I am. So here I'm using triangle paper. Here I used foundation paper, flying geese paper. Here I used square and a square paper. Here I used triangle paper. So last week, if you look at last week's live stream, I told you exactly what I used. And then this week I said exactly what I used. But if you have more questions, I can definitely answer. And then Lori thinks they look fabulous. Thank you, Lori. That means a lot. And this one, I feel like maybe I should have pressed this one open. But in the end, nobody's going to know. Okay, so one of the questions I'm getting is the red in the fat quarter bundle going to be enough to make the quilt? Yes, for the blocks. Now, I don't know about obviously not the borders, but you can see I've used some of the same fabrics twice. Let's see. And they're going to be different than what I use and what Lori uses. They're not going to be exactly the same, but Lori did pick the bundle. And the reason why is I'm not buying anything for this. I already have all of this fabric. So why go buy? I'm using the leftovers from the Be Patriotic that we did a free sew along with in the summer. I'm using leftovers from Farm Girl Vintage, Farm Girl Vintage 2. I've got some I've got all her fabric. So my blocks won't match the bundle because I'm not going to buy the bundle, because why buy it if I already have it? I need to use what I have. And then one of the questions is, which books should I have? So I'm going to show them to you. So what she's using in this sew along is Vintage Christmas, Spelling Bee, Farm Girl Vintage 2, and Farm Girl Vintage 1. Now the back of the quilt, she's going to do a label, and the label is going to be from the Spelling Bee. And I think you also need Great Granny Squared. I just don't have it right here. I didn't pull that one. So Great Granny Squared also. But now if you only have a budget for 2 books, just buy 2. And then when she maybe picks a 6-inch block from here, just pick a different one from here. Because that's how her books work, where each of these books has 6-inch and 12-inch blocks, and you can interchange them. So let me know if there's any questions on any of that. And next week I am going to show next week's blocks, and they'll be red.
For people who are still working on collecting all of Lori's books, how long will the sew along be up for?
She probably won't take it down. Like, she usually leaves all of her stuff up. The only way she takes it down is if she later publishes it in a book, but this is already in a book, so she's going to leave it up. And you don't have to feel like you have to rush to start, because these are not taking me a long time. I did these, I probably made all 3 blocks in like an hour and a half. They don't take very long, and I like that you have the freedom to change your blocks if you would like. And so Lori's just using her stash. So she's using her stash of reds and bee backgrounds. So I'm going to move to the next thing. We have this cool thing that I'm going to show you. So Shannon Fabrics, a lot of people don't know about Shannon Fabrics, and what they do is they make this really soft, fun fabric that's great for making stuff for kids or pillows. And we have a lot of videos on our channel that were filmed by Teresa Coates. She's an educator that works for Shannon Fabrics. So if you're going to try any of these, I would definitely watch those videos on our channel just for tips. And I'm going to show you these brand new boxes that they have come out with. And then I'm going to show you what's in them. So they're called like beginner boxes. And I'm going to show it to you all made up too. And I'm going to hope the boxes don't open in the back and fall everywhere, because that would be funny. That would be so funny. Okay. So this one is rainbow. This one is spring leaves. And this one is sky ride. Now within each kit, there's a booklet. There's stretch needles to use in your sewing machine, polyester thread, pins, and the fabric. So all you need is a sewing machine. I mean, I don't think you can hand sew this. So, and each of these makes 6 projects. So I'm going to show you all 6. So for the rainbow, I'm going to show you the rainbow. And what I would do when I use Minky, that's what the kind of generic name for this is, soft fabric, is I keep a handheld vacuum cleaner. So I have a little handheld vacuum cleaner. So when I cut, I just vacuum it up real quick with one of those like long sticks. That way it doesn't just, because it does have a lot of fuzz. So you get this little blanket. You can make this blanket. It's double-sided. And so one side has this texture, which kids really like, and the other side is rainbow. And then there's this scarf, and we kind of featured this scarf in one of our specialty boxes last year, and it was super popular. So you can make a scarf, and then you can make these 2 little play toys. And then there's this simple scarf. This one's pretty simple. You stitch it and then you cut with rotary cutter, and then you get that look, and it's not frayed at all. And then you can make this pillow. Now this is a 14-inch pillow. You just have to insert the pillow form. So if you have a new baby coming or someone in your family, this is fun to make. I would just have a vacuum cleaner ready. But these are cute, and this is a brand new product for them. They're wanting to get people to try it out. And so by putting the free patterns in the box, they're hoping that there will be something in the box that appeals to you so that you can try it at home and see if you like it. And then if you like it, you can go to bigger projects. Now I use Minky for the back of my quilt. I'm actually going to show it to you. It just came back from the quilter 5 minutes ago, literally. I'm going to show it to you after this segment to show you how I use Minky. So the next colorway is this one. It is called Spring Leaves. This box is going to come apart. Look, it is like tempting me. It keeps going off. So this one has 3 different fabrics. So the same thing, one scarf that you can make, a play ball, a blanket. The blanket's my favorite. Oops, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just hit the microphone. I hope I didn't break it. Oops. So funny. And then a scarf and a pillow. And so this one has the pillow form. So that one is Spring Leaves. And again, these are called Cuddle Beginner Boxes. And the pattern's included and the needles, which is really awesome because a lot of people don't have those needles, including myself. I don't have those needles. So I wouldn't have them to sew. And then the last colorway, and they wanted to do different colorways for girls, boys, unisex. You know, a lot of people don't find out the sex before they're born. So just lots of variety is what they were going for. And if this is super popular, I'm sure they're going to add more colors. So that's kind of one of the things, just, you know, they try it out, and if it works good, then maybe they'll add a purple and, you know, different colors. This color is Sky Ride. So this is the pillow, and this one is really, they call this Luxe, L-U-X-E, and it's just got that feel. And then this is the scarf. So it's kind of got, you know, a scarf for the adult, the toys for the kids, pillows for, that would in my house work for anybody. And this one, this is actually my favorite right here, this little airplane. So one side is flat, and then one side is, they call it Luxe, but it's basically got that texture. Woo. And then this is the cute, this is cute, it's a little scarf. So let me know if there's any questions on any of that. We do have a giveaway right now, and all the information is on our blog. Our blog is The Jolly Jabber. And Shannon Fabrics is watching. Oh my gosh, thank you for watching. It's so cute. So this is a little trunk show. And if y'all like this and you want to see more like this from Shannon, we can definitely borrow more quilts from them. What was the polka dots of different colors you showed at first? Okay, so that was the very first quilt. And I'm not sure, let me find the quilt, and then I'm not sure of the SKU number.
We did have a couple of super chats. First one from Cheryl Crawford Ski for $20, and she put a little sticker that's a fox holding a trophy, and he's wearing armor, I think.
Aw, thank you.
Really cute. And then one from Nancy Lane for $19.99, and Nancy says, "Thank you for all your stitching and quilting inspirations," and she put 3 sunflowers.
Thank you. Okay, so that question, there was a question about a polka dot fabric. I don't see a polka dot fabric in the Shannon box. Shannon can definitely answer because they know the SKU number. And if it was something else, just let me know and I can find it. So I'm going to move to showing you more Shannon fabric from the back of my quilt that just came. Thank you. So Gina Tell quilted this, and it just came back. So I asked her to do a crosshatch. On the back. And when she works with Minky, you cannot do a very dense quilt because it's hard to work with. So that's the smallest she could go. And this is, I'm going to show you first the back. Let me turn it over. So this is my back. So this is C3 graphite, if I'm remembering correct. And so I just used some, this fabric was left over from the front, or I might have had some, I'm not sure. And then I used leftover flying geese, and then I just used cotton over here, and then I put graphite here. Because I wanted to see how it would look, and it looks good. So if I keep doing this, I'm just gonna do the same pattern, because I feel like if we do like a bunch of florals, I like everything to be very small when it's quilted, and I feel like with the others it would get too big. And then I'll show you the front. So I'll show you the front from the top camera, and then we'll show from the front. So it's just simple quilting. I think it looks great, Gina, thank you. Okay, so now I've got it upside down. So I'm gonna show it from the front. It's easier to see from the front. It's pretty heavy too, but this is gonna be, I'm gonna use this in my bedroom, in the chair that I sit in. Ooh, so pretty. So that's how it looks there. And then I'll show the bottom. And then the back. And right here, let's see. I mean, I know I've shown this a million times. Y'all are probably tired of hearing about it. This is my label that I sewed in. So I just buy these from Sweetwater. And I'm gonna apologize because it is pouring down rain, and it might get real loud in here. Do you or can you use batting with Binky? So I do use batting with mine. So this has batting in it. You can do it without batting. This is pretty thick, but I would prefer thick. Even though I live in Texas, I like it to be really soft. And what I will do now, another reason I did Minky, I'm gonna totally embarrass myself now. Okay, so when I sit in my chair with my dog, I do not like dirt. So I don't want my dog, he's always dirty. He's a pug, and he actually likes to be outside. Sometimes he won't come inside. He loves to be outside. Like at night, we have to he won't come inside unless we give him a treat, because he has us trained instead of the other way around, but also he likes to be outside. So there's also other dogs in the neighborhood that stay outside, so he likes to go on the fence and talk to them, I think. But I don't want him to get my stuff dirty, so I will put this side up, and when he sits with me in my chair, he can sit here, and I know he'll stay because it's soft. And if it gets dirty, I mean, it's the same color as dirt, so I won't see it. And then another quilt I can show you because she just brought these. So Gina Tell from Thread Graffiti quilted both of these for me. And this one, I didn't even know I was getting back today. I think I was supposed to know, but I didn't. I forgot. So this is the Sewcialites blocks in, let's see what size this is, 9-inch. So these are my 9-inch blocks that we did on camera. And then this is the back. So this is a panel. I bought 2 panels, cut it down, and added the same fabric as the border on the outside. And also put my label in here. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look how she centered this. Look how she centered this. This is amazing. So it's kind of a 2-sided quilt. Now this is a label that I sewed in again. And so I have a double-sided quilt. I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. If y'all want me to auction it for Make-A-Wish, I will. You'll just have to let me know. And we have a super chat from Shelly Murphy. Please send a shout out to my son, Connor Murphy. Shout out to your son, Connor Murphy. My kids are going to be mad now. They're going to be like, you didn't give me a shout out? I had to kick him out of chat. A little bit. So let me know if there's any questions on any of that. I am going to show you some Serendipity stuff. So Serendipity is our charity quilt along. We have raised $71,274, and I'm going to show you the blocks for this week. But I'm also going to tell you that we're granting a wish next Tuesday morning, and the little girl's name is Charlotte. She lives in Buda, which is actually where Back Quarter Shop is. It's right outside of Austin. And she is going to get the Build-A-Bear store all to herself for an hour and have a complete shopping spree. So I'm so excited. So I'm going to attend, Kevin's going to attend, and we will bring pictures, and she's 4. So this is what this is all about, is that. And this was my demo that I did Monday live, so you can go back and watch that. And somehow I had time to finish this. Someone is asking what type of batting I used, and 80/20. And is there a video on how to sew in labels? I did one on the live stream. We can link to it. And do I hand sew my binding or machine sew it? I hand sew it, but actually Gina does it for me now because I'm out of time. But this is actually my favorite part. So this is me being so proud that I finished an R-fill spool of 2000. I just had to brag at myself, so I'm gonna throw it away now. Or put it in recycling, but I was so excited I finished a spool. So these are blocks from the Serendipity quilt made by our sample makers just to show you different color options. So these are American Gathering fabric by Lisa Bonjean, and Teresa made these. And I did see on social media some of you guys used all the same fabric here, and that looked great too. So that's the first one. The second one is Whatnot collection by Ruby Star Society, and Kate made these. And she did a little fussy cutting in the center. You can have fun and fussy cut. So you can see this will look good in any fabric. So we've got traditional, modern, and now we have batiks. This is Confection Batiks by Kate Spain. It's our first time carrying her batiks, I think, or maybe second, but they just came in. So this one looks really pretty. And the next one is Marsha. Blooming Bunch by Maureen McCormick. And I think, okay, I've made a deal. The only way I'm going back to Quilt Market is if they bring Maureen McCormick so I can meet her. That's going to be what gets me to Quilt Market. Otherwise, I'm staying home. Sorry. I just had to be funny. But actually, I'm quite serious. The next one is Mill Creek Garden by Jan Paddock. And I can't see the name. This is Mill Creek Garden by Jan Paddock. And then I did see a question earlier that said, how do I remember all the SKUs but not remember stuff out of my personal life? And that's actually a pretty funny question, but that's just how my mind works. I actually order the SKUs for the site. And I am a person that learns by typing, and I learn from reading. And so I order the SKUs. So they become ingrained in my mind because I'm the one that does that. I do it probably 5 times a day. And I also work a lot more than I do personal stuff. So those are our Serendipity blocks. And thank you for donating $71,274. Of course, next week we will show you photos. She's so cute. She loves Disney. So we're going to take a, Jocelyn's getting a Minnie Mouse or Mickey Mouse big doll to take her. So that'll be fun. Pam wants to know where I order my labels from. So I'm going to show you that. I ordered them from I believe it's called, just if you type Sweetwater Quilt Labels. So Sweetwater is a mom and daughter duo. So 2 daughters, 1 mom, and they design fabric for Moda Fabrics under the name Sweetwater, but they also do these labels and they make them themselves, and it'll have your name, and there's a club that you get, and I've been in the club for years and years. I pay for it. They're not paying me to say it. I'm also in their towel club. So yeah. And thank you, Jorana. She says, this wish is so exciting. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to help. Yeah, I'm so excited. And I'm excited because I'm going to be able to show my kids, like, hey, this is what you should be doing with your life. Like, do something good for other people. Life's not always just about you. Okay, so I'm going to move to Jolly Bar because I've been sewing like a mad woman. Can you tell? Like, oh my word. That's why I work all the time. Okay, so here is Jolly Bar 3. This is a new sew along that we're doing. And this is the Springtime Bliss block. This is gonna end in May, and we're on the 3rd week, and this is so easy. This is last week's blocks, right here. Sorry, I have 2 boards. This is this week's blocks. So I'm going to lay these out neater. So first I'll show you this week's block. So this is from this book. It's only $9.95. Celebrates our 5x10 Jolly Bars. So you only make these 2 blocks. And what I wanted to show you is if you save the leftover, just like I showed you last week, you can put either triangle paper on it or just sew a 1/4 inch away and press open. And you can use these in your swirling stars or on the back or somewhere, but you can save this fabric, this fabric, this fabric, this fabric. You can have 8 half square triangles left over from this. So I am going to save all of these. So this is week 3. And then these are some of the leftovers from week 2. Now, the others, guess where they're at? They're already in my Swirling Stars block that I've already shown you. I'm going to show you block 2. This is my favorite part of it. And this fabric is Sunday Stroll by Bonnie and Camille and Moda Fabrics. And I am using this Perfect 10 ruler. It's perfect. Like there's no other word for it. Even, did I design it? Yes. Is it perfect? Yes, sorry. Okay, so this is our first block. So this is the center, and all of the information on this sew along is on our blog, and all you need is the book. And to visit our blog once a week, and I thought this would be really fun to show you something else from last year. So last year we did a Jolly Bar sew along also, and this is Jolly Bar sew along too. This is our 3rd one. And last year we did it as a row. So this is how it looks from last year. And we decided since last year we did such a big quilt to do a small quilt this time. And I'll show you the back too. The back has a label towards the bottom. And I'll show it to you up close. So if you missed out on Jolly Bar Sew Along 2, you can get that book. That book is only $9.95 also, and all the information's on our blog. So on this one, because it's a Jolly Bar, there really wasn't a lot left over. So these were leftover half square triangle. They were like just little leftover triangles from the front. That's all I could salvage. So I just made this for the back. And it just says Kimberly Jolly, made in the USA. Is there a digital version of the Jolly Bar book? No. Is there going to be a Christmas in July? Yes. When will Sunday Stroll arrive? We're hoping May. It might be June. Every single delivery is delayed just because what's going on in the world, regardless of manufacturer, regardless of if it's coffee, muffins, everything's delayed. What's the name of the pattern book you're using? Was Jolly Bar Book 3. Do I ever use pre-cuts? Lori wants to know. Okay. I use layer cakes the most, but if I need like a mini charm, I might buy a charm pack instead, starch it, and trim it down. I love to starch, so because I like to starch so much, making it bigger and letting it shrink down is better for me. And, I love seeing alternate fabric versions. It reminds me of quilting retreats. I'm missing what my friends do. I totally agree. And yeah, I totally agree. And okay, so there's another sew along that started. It actually started this Monday. So this one is hosted by Corey Yoder. Coriander Quilts is her blog. The finished quilt will be 70 by 80, and this is free. So you download this on her site, her blog. So just search Coriander Quilts blog, Spring Brook Blossoms, and it'll pop right up. She's got fabric requirements. She has a picture of kind of what it's going to look like. Yeah, she has a picture of what it's going to look like. I think she shows the full picture. Now, if you want to get ahead on this, I'm going to give you a hint. Make all of these, they're all the same. Make all of these, they're all the same. Just don't finish this part. This is what changes every week. So this weekend, I've actually finished all of these. What I'm going to do this weekend is I'm going to do all of these. And I'm going to even sew the rows together. And then next time, I'll do the next block, the next block, the next block. I am using Spring Brook, which is her fabric, Corey Yoder's fabric. This is my favorite white on white dot that I always have. And there's going to be 12 blocks, and she's going to do 2 a month, the third Monday of each month. And this is how I pressed. So I did press open because all of this kind of touching was going to be a lot. So I decided to just go ahead and press open. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to have all of this done this weekend just to kind of get ahead. Anytime you can get ahead, I think it helps. But it's really pretty. I'm using her layer cakes. I had one already, so I just bought one more, and I already had the background fabric. And I did have to buy this fabric. But you could use any green. You can use any of her fabrics. So that's that. Will Fat Quarter Shop ever have a quilt retreat? I don't know. I don't think so. That one would be really hard. It's not that I don't want to go. It's I don't want to arrange stuff. Like I'm not good planner. Like I'm not a good party host. When people come to my house, I'm not good at like, oh, do you need some water? That kind of stuff. I'm just not good at that. So I don't know if I would do a good job, and I only want to do things I could do a good job at. Michelle wants to know if the block of the month kits can be starched and feel assured there's enough fabric after starch shrinkage. If it is a kit we cut at Fat Quarter Shop, which would be Serendipity, any of the block of the months that we offer that we cut, there is enough because I purchase those for myself and I do starch. And I cut exactly, if I whether it's me or someone on my team, we get exactly what you're going to get packaged and everything. And then if there's not enough to starch, we know because we starch. So then we'll know. So yes, there should be enough. And are you going to talk about sew by row? I haven't seen anything about this month's block. A newsletter email went out this week to let you know that it is delayed. There are 2 SKUs that did not arrive from Riley Blake. They're landing. They're not in the U.S. yet. So when they get here, we're going to cut the rest of it as soon as possible and send it out. But check your email, check your spam. There is an update on that. So row 1 has sent out, row 2 will ship. I mean, the day we get it, we'll cut it, ship it the next day. Can I purchase a bolt of the background fabric used in Spring Brook Blossom? Yes. The SKU is, okay. The SKU that she used, I can't think of off the top of my head, but I know it is a 9900. I think she's using 9900-200. Check her blog to make sure. You can order 15 yards of that. If you want to use what I'm using a collection called On the Farm, and it is 20708-36. And if you want to purchase a bolt of that, you can. We have plenty of it. Just type in 15 yards. And what you can do is in the comment box, just put, can I please have bolt discount? Did Creative Grids agree to produce the tiny square Kimberly wants? No. They said they would produce something, they would change maybe an existing ruler, but no, they said no. Do I put the year and date on my labels? Okay, yes. Let me show you. So some yes and some no. So can I see that one too, please? So I actually used to have a ton of labels, but I've been making so many quilts that I'm kind of using mine up to where I need to buy a second membership, which would be totally fine. I just haven't had time to do it. So when you get your labels, they always have your name. So like my name's here, my name's here. This one has the year, this one doesn't. But what I try to do is I just go for what do I think matches? And I don't even think this is like the best match for this because it's black. But I kind of thought it matched that fabric a little bit. But I just kind of find the theme that matches, and I make so many quilts. I mean, I don't even know. I've made like probably 500 that, but yes, if it's on there, that's great. If it's not, I just find what fits, like what can fit and they do sell sheets of them also. I tend to end up using the ones that are just in the club because I do have some of the sheets, I just don't use them as much. Have you had any problems with moss? No. For starch, no. We would love for you, like all these quilts I'm showing, tell me which one's your favorite so I can see if my favorite's the same as yours. Mine is Stitchery Sampler because I love Joanna's fabric, and that is the same collection that this friend of mine is going to have a free sew along with. So that's super exciting because I have leftovers, and with my leftovers I was going to cut that up and put it in my scrap buckets, but now that my friend is going to do the sew along, I'm just going to let it sit right there and then use it up in that.
And we did have another super chat from Catherine Bruden for $5, and she put, it's a fox saying hiya.
Hiya. I'm gonna hiya my kids. My kids, that's one of the things they say. Let's see. Okay, this is a free sew along that Riley Blake Designs is hosting, and they're calling it the RBD Block Challenge. This is block 9. There are going to be 16 blocks, and what's great about this sew along is they're 10 inches finished. So a lot of sew alongs are 3, 4, 12 inches. So this is 10, so that's great. So anytime you need a free 10-inch block, you can always refer to their blog. And they're going to have 3 blocks each week. So the first 3 Tuesdays of the month. So this is the last one for this month. So I won't be showing it next week because there won't be one next week. I'm using 4 fabrics from Prim from Lori Holt. So I'm using pink, brown, sea glass, and this one. And this one, you know how sometimes I use triangle paper and all that. This one I didn't use any kind of paper. I sewed it exactly how they had it. I didn't cheat in any way. And then I did add the little pink sashiko stitches. It's hard to see. It's just the color. If I would have used brown or something, but. So I've just got the little sashiko stitches. And it's fun using that machine because I'm kind of getting more used to it to where I feel more comfortable with it. And, oh my gosh, y'all all like Stitchery Sampler too. Yay! And there's a lot of those. You can join Joanna Figueroa's Facebook group. She's got lots of people who post in there. Oh my gosh, that's like picking a favorite child. Oh no, it's not. Because in my house, you know who the favorite child is? It's whoever's listening at that moment. And they know it because they always say, which is your favorite? I'm like, who's listening? Who said yes, ma'am? Who took out the trash? Who did something? Cindy is saying, which video did you explain how to make the templates for the Stella block from the Riley Blake challenge blocks? That one has me stumped. Okay, so go to the Riley Blake Designs blog, and whatever day they picked, they showed it. That Tuesday, so if it was on that Tuesday, look at the date, the blog date is posted. It's that Friday's video. So it's the same week that they did, it's just later in the week. Any idea when the Riley Blake 3D mask template will be in? Should be soon. Are your labels iron on? You can iron them on. I prefer to iron them on to just a Bella Solid and then sew it in, but you can iron it on. Do I enjoy sewing, or is it just work for you? It's my piece to create. I get the feeling you get stressed out. Oh, yeah, I get stressed out. I have a lot going on, guys. But do I love sewing? Yes. And the best thing about this live stream is I get to sew what I want. I get to pick the fabric, I get to sew, I try to change it up. But do I get stressed? Absolutely. I am human.
And we had another new YouTube member join, Clenny Elioa, a new YouTube member. Welcome, Glenny.
Thank you.
And then we had a super chat from Laura Braziel for $9.99, and Laura says, just want to express my thankfulness for the FQS team. There aren't enough hours in the day for me to enjoy all the free content you provide, but I'm going to keep trying.
Aw, thank you. You know what y'all could do too if y'all, what I do if I get behind on watching all my favorite people on YouTube is I just put them on speed up. What is it? Like you click it and then you just do 2 times speed, but I mean 2 times is too much. So I usually do 1.5 and then I can catch up like if I have a lot of videos. So you could watch me really fast because I already don't talk fast enough, right? Sorry, that's my joke for today. I wanted to let y'all know Mother's Day is coming up, and we put this really cool post on the blog. So we made some heating pads, and they can also be cooling pads. It's a free pattern, and it's a fun and easy Mother's Day gift idea. So you can sew it up for your mom. So we did it in a couple of colors, and we just used Jolly Bar rectangles. If you don't have a Jolly Bar, you can just cut a 5 by 10 inch rectangle from your stash. And there's a ton of information on the blog about how to use essential oils, how to use the rice, how to put it in the microwave, the freezer. So these are figs and shirtings, and you can see this edge is finished one way. This one is Mill Creek Garden, and these are finished a different way. So you can have fun finishing the edges however you like. And I'm not touching the bow because that bow is gorgeous. So I'm not touching that bow. I'm not going to take it out. So they use in 2 different fabrics. Of course, you could use 1 fabric, but they kind of use the same colors. Nancy made these. Crystal made these. And see, we're just using the Jolly Bars. And then this is one of my favorite collections, of course, because this is the Homestead collection that I'm using in Sewcialites. And this is Homestead by April Rosenthal, who designed our block this week. And so I did want to point out, some of these are like the rice is filled a little bit, and then some of them the rice is filled more. So you can really customize this. That's sometimes when you get to sewing project, it's fun to customize, because with quilting it's harder to customize. And this is the Roslyn collection, and Deborah made these, and Sue made these. And these are red and white, so these would make a great Mother's Day gift. So it's another free gift from you, and another free gift from us to you. And I hope you make some and share them with us on Instagram. So there's a couple of questions. One says, am I watching Dateline tonight? Of course. I actually meant to look this morning. On Fridays, I look in the morning to see if the Dateline is new or old. So the last 4 have been new, but I haven't looked today to see if it's new. But if it's old, sometimes I'll rewatch it, but if not, I'll watch 2020. Michelle Frothingham gave us a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. And the clappers, I still don't have an update. We will email again and try to get an update from them. But I thought it was going to be by now. And Beverly wants to know, instead of using the sashiko, could you use a piece of stabilizer and use a decorative stitch? Sure, I think so. And I did want to give credit. That idea is from Bev McCullough of Flamingo Toes. She did that on her blocks, and so I asked her if I could copy, and she said I could. So I'm gonna like kind of end with all of our new stuff. And I'm gonna sit down for a little bit. So this is very exciting. If you're in the Sew Sampler program, each year we do a new block that you can sew each month, and it comes in your package. So if you don't want to see this, skip, because this is kind of a spoiler. So you can skip this section if you don't want to see it, but I wanted to share with you. This is our block, and this is what is going to be in the kit. So if you buy the kit, here's the kit and the backing set. This year's was designed by Sherry McConnell, and she not only designed the blocks, she also designed the quilt kit. So you can buy the kit and the backing, and we do have a little thread set that we always do with RFL thread. So if you wanted to do decorative stitching on your blocks, or you want to use it in your binding. And we released this free insert. So if you want to get this book at Amazon with the little inserts, this is a free download right here. And that went online today. So Teresa made this one. And just like always, I want to show you something different. So each month I am going to show you her blocks, which is using Brightside. And I'm going to make the block using Christmas Morning. And if you're not in the Sew Sampler box, you can still participate because we sell this as a PDF separate so that you can sew along with us if you're not in the Sew Sampler. So that's one of our new things. Our next thing is a pop-up. So Tula Pink released a video yesterday, and she has a whole conversation about how she designed each print, the inspiration between each. This collection has all of those as regular cottons, and there are 3 108-inch wides also. We are pre-selling the bundles. We have fat quarter bundles, half-yard bundles, and 1-yard bundles. So if you're interested, I would check out her video first. We also have a kit that we're pre-selling. And I am going to show you the next new thing. So this is the long-awaited stitch card box. So these are Lori Holt design boxes. Now this is not the correct color, so I'm just gonna, it's denim actually. It's gonna be a different color. And if you wanna see the accurate color, you can find it on our Coming Soon page. Just type Lori Holt stitch cards. But I wanna show you how you can use it. What you get is these are each sold separately. So you can buy 1, 2, or 3. You can stack them. They come with 2 cards that go in the spot so that you can write on them. It doesn't say stitch cards, so you can write whatever you would like. Here's one way to use it, is put her cross stitch fabric in there. So these are her different cross stitch fabrics, and I'm gonna show you these in a little bit, but I'm gonna move this one just because it's not the right color. And these will be in stock July, August. This one is teal. And this one we decided to just put all of the Lori Holt notions in here. So we have some charm packs. We've got her paper, her crazy paper, her seam roller, some of her pins, her rickrack, buttons. So this could just be full of all things Lori Holt. So you could just use it as storage. And another way you can use it is what it was intentionally made for. So they come with these cards, which are A to Z and 4 empty ones, so that you can use them for anything. One side's blank and one side is pretty, and it of course has her logo, and they're meant for her stitch cards, which are her cross stitch cards. You get 4. They come out every quarter. So I'm going to flip through and show you all of them. So this is set A, so it would go behind the A. Set B, C, D, and if you haven't checked out our cross stitch channel, it is Fat Quarter Shop Floss Tube, and we teach all things cross stitch. And we do have a club if you want to join this club, where when they come out you get them first. Stitch cards. Not the boxes, just the stitch cards, sorry. Yes, so there is a club if you want to get all the stitch cards. And then we also, in the back, we put some of her library cards that we put on the back of her cross stitch, her beekeeper, which is used for cross stitch, some of her floss flowers, and her brand new, this would be great for quilters too, it is thread conditioner that's beeswax, so you can put that on the end of your thread when you're doing binding. So we kind of use this box as our cross stitch box. And then another fun thing to do with the boxes is put one of her needle minders on it. This one we picked because it's one of her cross stitch needle minders that goes with Prim Stitch series and Prim and Proper, but it's really heavy. So on the front, you can put your needle on it and keep your needle minder. And on the inside, you can put her scissors. So her scissors are, they just stick right there. So you can sit this right next to you when you're stitching. How much is the bulk discount? I think it's 20%. I think it's 20%. If I join the Stitch Club, but I want to get caught up, do you offer a discount? Yes, you can get the club discount. Just email Kathy, C-A-T-H-Y, at fatquartershop.com after you place your order with your order number and say, I would like these stitch cards at the club price, and she will take care of that. Trinan wants to know, what do you recommend for the backing of the Greatest Hits sampler quilt? FQS Kit Fabrics. I think that's a solid on the front. I would put my favorite color is Moda on the back. I would get the running yardage and put that on the back. Not the panel, I would get the running yardage. Jean wants to know, is there a supply list for the Sew Sampler Block of the Month, Brightside? There is a fabric requirement list on our blog. And someone wants to know if the kit is fat quarters. And I'm going to look because I don't remember. The kit includes 3 7/8 yard of the background. And the other prints are 3/8 of a yard. But if you had a fat quarter bundle, you could just use more fabrics from the bundle and do more of a variety than we have if you've already got the fat quarter bundle and don't want to have to buy more. Hi, Mom. My mom is watching. Love you too. What background bundle do I need to buy for Lori Holt's red and white block sew along? Let's see. I think it's called Red Sampler B Background. Oh, our search function's not working on our site this morning. Sorry. So, but yes, it is the red. I just searched Red Sampler Background Bundle. It's 6 1-yard cuts. And sorry about the technical difficulties on our site. We're hoping it will fix soon. So we already put a ticket in. And Lori has crocheted 3 granny squares so far. Yay! And then Tina said, I used to make these for gifts and kept rice packs in the freezer for kid boo-boos. Oh, I needed one this weekend. I'll tell you a funny story. It's not funny. It's actually quite traumatic. So Saturday we were having Emma's birthday party with her friends. So like her high school friends and stuff. And we were supposed to meet them at a restaurant. And literally, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes before we're supposed to leave, I hear one of my kids screaming, help me, I'm dying, help me. We run in there. One of my kids, his whole head was open, busted open. So I'm thinking, do we need to go to the hospital? There's blood everywhere. I'm thinking, okay, how are we gonna make this blood stop? What are we gonna do? I mean, I don't know anything about medical stuff. So finally, I was kind of just pacing because I didn't know what to do. And finally I thought, oh my gosh, Dana's husband is a surgeon. Let me call her. So I texted her and she texted her husband and he said, oh, if you go to the emergency room, they're just gonna put one stitch in, don't do that. Run to CVS, get a butterfly bandage, get it on there real tight, and it should be fine. And it is fine. But those two little boys, they're in trouble. They're still in trouble. Every day I tell them they're in trouble because I told them they can't be next to each other for 2 weeks and they cannot play together outside anymore because I'm not going to have this. Would the boxes hold Lori's shapes? It will hold some of them, like her B basics, but some of the bigger ones that come bigger, it won't fit because some of the pieces are bigger than this because we did try it. Is that it? Okay, so I have a really sad announcement. This is Lily's last week with us. She resigned, but we're so grateful for everything she did for us and the channel and the live streams, and we wish her all the best, and we want you to put comments in there and maybe comment, say goodbye to her, tell her your favorite moment with her, make her feel special. And I'll be back next week. Lily won't be here. You will all miss her. But she is going to work from home. So I think that'll work better for her. I don't know, but we'll miss her, and y'all have a great weekend.
I'll miss you all.
Yes.